We could just go in the Chiefs game if you want to talk about the Chiefs game.
All right.
You do.
I thought about a lot. Like, okay, first of all, it took 0 minutes for Broncos fans to become just as unbearable as every other fan base on social media.
Correct.
We get a win and the Chiefs are down bad.
Yeah.
I expected a little more from us, but no. Oh,
No.
Every person I know in Broncos Twitter just shit on the Chiefs as hard as they could. I'm like, man, confidence comes back quick. I'm going to try to be a little bit bigger here, and I normally go right to being small.
Sure.
And the thing that I hate about what Patrick Mahomes is complaining about, I actually agree with. I agree with Mahomes 100%. I think offenses should be able to line up however the hell they want. I think, not offsides, okay? But illegal formations, illegal shifts, all that stuff is stupid. It's stupid. And Mahomes is also right in that we are seeing too many ticky-tacky calls that negate great offensive plays.
Sure.
I agree with both of those things. He just happened to choose the worst example to make his point and have Andy Reid back him up and also reiterate his point, because Tony's offsides, and he's offsides. It's not one of those ones where it's just like, that's
blatant.
It's like, oh yeah, shit, he's way offsides. It's
not even close. It's not like maybe I could see different angle. Like, guys, he's here. Like, there's no way. There's one guy who's lined up past the center. Like, it is offsides. 1,000,000%.
So like in principle, I agree with Patrick Mahomes. And I actually want a guy of Patrick Mahomes' stature bitching about this stuff for us. Because let's be honest, that's all we do every week as fans. When our team gets dicked by the refs, we're complaining about it ad nauseum on social media. But here's where, so he lost me. And I think once Mahomes and Reed go and look and see how offsides Tony was, they'll be like, oh, okay. But this is the one that got me, Tom.
To take the game into his hands over a call like that doesn't affect the play at all. Didn't affect anything. It's just tough, man. And like I said, man, that's a Hall of Fame tight end making a Hall of Fame play that won't be shown because we threw a flag for offensive offsides. And so it takes away from not only this game and this season, but from a legendary career that Travis has had. And that hurts me because I know how hard he works for it.
Takes away from Travis Kelce's legendary career. Oh, we're reaching now, Mahomes. We're reaching. I get what he's doing there. I feel like I've done that when you're like losing an argument and you try to find like a bigger point to make. And it's just like, it's not going to affect Travis Kelce's career at all. If anything, it showed Travis Kelce could probably be a pretty good quarterback in that Chiefs offense. That's what my takeaway was. The other issue with Mahomes is he needs to be this vocal when his team benefits from the bad calls, right? If you're just doing it when you're negatively affected, it doesn't have weight. And the missed pass interference call against the Packers, way worse. That's way worse than this one. Shout out to Mile High Mims, who put together a thread of all the times the Chiefs benefited from bad calls.
Jesus.
And there's a couple Broncos in there. Guys, you won a Super Bowl on the type of call Mahomes is complaining about. And I didn't hear Mahomes defend that call. I didn't hear him criticize that call. So it's, going back, you robbed the Browns of a playoff win. Like this goes on for quite, like, I respect when somebody remembers this many bad calls, does this much research.
I can't. Okay.
But it's like, it happens, man. It balances out.
I agree. I definitely agree. That game, like, that crap is so annoying and so obnoxious. And I love Josh Allen's response because, like, Mahomes going up there, he's like, weirdest effing call I've ever seen in my life, right? And Allen's like, okay. He's like, I'm just gonna go on now.
Can I just get a good game, man?
Yeah, just like GG's. That's it. It's not going to make things better. And I agree with you because I think it's going to take somebody like Mahomes to speak out and be like, hey, you know what the fans have been complaining about all this time? You know what other teams that are considered lesser than by the NFL or not as popular, they've been complaining about? Because I got to be very honest with you, and this coming from a Packers fan, the amount of time that the Lions have been screwed over by the refs, and many times for the Packers, right?
Yeah.
It was insane. Like, there was a decade where, like, they just got every wrong call and no one gave a crap except Lions fans because it was against the Lions. And that's BS. So I like that it's like, hey, let's point this out. The problem with just kind of expanding on your point, not only was it the wrong hill to die on, and it's clearly the wrong hill to die on, but two, I wonder if this bolsters the NFL and officiating crew by then saying, well, look how right we are. Like all these complaints we always hear, look, we were right on this one. And the refs, they were kind of chippy about it too.
I loved it.
They were like,
Carl Peppers,
usually
right?
there's a warning. He goes, yep, usually there's a warning. It was so egregiously offsides, we couldn't see the ball.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's how bad this was. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tony is gone. But he's like that good playmaker, but he makes too many mistakes.
No, that's a mental error. And to be fair to
Wasn't really
Tony,
sick play.
like if
It
you've
wasn't
ever
really
lined up as a wide receiver, you can be off. Like if you think you're straight, but you're kind of angled, you can kind of think you're on the line. Yeah. And that's why they check with receivers. And the conspiracy now is that he checked with one of the officials, but there was never confirmation whether the official gave him the okay or not.
That's the best thing I saw. They were like, he was confirmed that he checked with the officials. Like, where is that?
Yeah.
Like, well, you assume, and it's like, no, guys, like he's offsides. Like it sucks.
It's a mental mistake. Because dude, like, up.
It was a really cool effing play. Like it, like Travis Kelce makes that play, and I'm like, holy crap! Like that was incredible. Like one of the best plays I've seen this season.
Yeah,
and it's just like.
He just, in the middle of the play, decides to throw it back to Tony.
Yep.
It's insane.
Which they have done. Like, they practice it, and Andy Reid's usually pissed off when they do it and what have you. But it worked out. But, like, that's what the play is. And I'm sorry. Like, you can't be upset about that. Because it legitimately is such an egregious penalty.
It's so funny, too, because Mahomes was cool last week, right? After the Packers game. And I said to you, I was like, he's so good in press conferences. Like, he always says the right thing. And a week later, that's probably the worst 2-3 moments. So he's losing his shit on the sideline.
Oh, that's the most angry I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've never seen him do that.
Like, dude, he was screaming at and everyone, even the commentators, like, who's he yelling at? He's screaming at the refs.
The void. He's yelling at the void.
Yeah.
Then he's got the soundbite with Josh Allen, which just looks sad. And then he press conference afterwards. So that was like 3 in a row. And honestly, like, I don't mind him complaining to Josh Allen because I think they're friends, right? I feel like that's you and me, like after a game and you just won. And I'm like, do you see what happened to us though? It's like, I think they're friends and I think they're on a place where they're cool enough to do that for each other. So that one doesn't really bother me that much. Mm-hmm. It just makes Mahomes look petty, but I don't know. He got the triple decker of looking like Tom Brady.
Dude, I just think, because I don't know if Tony's going to be on the team anymore. Because I think, again, there's just been too many mistakes. And while he can be a good playmaker, like maybe just throw him back as like a returner and like have a nice day. But
Chiefs are going to go hard for a receiver in the draft or free agency. Like they'll make a play for Mike Evans.
Very true.
Maybe they'll push the Colts if like Michael Pittman becomes available. They're going to make a play for a legit ball catcher. And they'll probably be very good because of it.
I think so. The Chiefs, though, because like it's like, oh man, because now it's with the Broncos doing well, and the Chiefs, like it is still a huge uphill battle to win that division because the Chiefs' last games are all winnable. They have the Patriots, they should win. The Raiders, they can't score on offense. Then you have the Bengals, which will be tough, and then you got the Chargers, likely without Justin Herbert.
Yeah, get Bengals. Come on, Cincy, give it to us, baby. Yeah. I believe Jake. Oh. If Jake Browning can deal.
But yeah, I think the Chiefs ultimately are going to be fun. Like, here's the thing, too, and this is what we go back to the beginning of the show. We're talking about teams panicking. Like, the Chiefs won a Super Bowl in February, right? Yeah. They're still going to the postseason unless they have the most epic collapse I have ever seen, which is not going to happen. So they're going to make the postseason. They're just probably not going to win the Super Bowl this year. And it just seems like the meltdown over that is a little bit more than it should be, in my
Yeah.
humble opinion.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a little bit more than it should be.
The Chiefs are like,
So dumb.
they won the lottery. They have all the money they need, and they're about to get this new job where they can make a shit ton more money, but they might just have to wait a little longer to get that next big payday. Like, they're fine. They're going to get into the playoffs. They're probably going to lose in the playoffs. They're going to be good next year. They're panicking because they're not as – this is the worst they've been since Patrick Mahomes took over as their starting QB.
Which they could still win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like,
and they've
dude,
had one of their best defenses in that time frame as well. It's just weird.
Defense, maybe Bailey Zappi, pulls off what he did on Thursday. Maybe.